All right, the Knicks are going to look to make it 6 straight wins as they battle the Magic in Orlando on Friday night following their big Christmas Day victory over the Spurs. So let's break down the matchup. We're going to talk some Knicks hoops with a contributor to Knicks Film School, Shawn Hardie, joins me now. Shawn, what's going on? How was your holiday season? I know one part of it was good because you are a Ravens fan and they won and my Steelers lost. But outside of that, you're a great guy and I'm glad to talk Knicks with you. How's your holiday season go?
First, thanks for having me on. My holiday season was great. Like you said, the Ravens won, but got to spend time with family and, enjoy some drinks and exchange presents. And it was a good day indeed. So thank you for asking again. Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime, Shawn, anytime. It was a good day for the Knicks on Christmas Day, too. And Shawn, the Knicks, they played well since the NBA Cup game against the Hawks, which I know you remember. A lot of fans were in their feelings about that game, right, and how the Knicks lost to Atlanta on that night. Now they're 10 games over 500, and with their recent strong play, I got to ask you this. Are the Knicks bona fide contenders in the Eastern Conference?
The short answer is yes, they are. The longer answer is, they have the 6th best record in the league. And if you want to go deep into advanced stats, though they're 5th in net rating, they're 2nd in offensive rating, and they are 14th in defensive rating. Now, if you're probably saying to yourself, 14th in defensive rating, that's middle of the pack. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because I realized that the path for this team to win a championship is to emulate the 2023 Nuggets, who were 6th in offensive rating that year in 2023. They're 6th in net rating overall. They were 5th in offensive rating and 17th in defensive rating. These numbers come from Cleaning the Glass. So, yeah, simple answer. Like they are contenders in the Eastern Conference. They've won 5 straight. They've won 10 of 12, and 10 of 12. That's since Thanksgiving, and they've won 15 of 19 since the Chicago loss at home. We're down like 24. And when Brunson, the shot went, 3/4 of the way down, what have you, right? It's interesting you bring up the Hawks game because, like you said, a lot of people were in their feelings that day, and it seemed like many people thought something was broken. And a lot of people now look at the Hawks game as the turnaround because since then, I think they're 3rd in net rating. But I actually did some research. I said I wanted to see what their record was between that Chicago loss and that Atlanta loss. And between those games, in that span of games, they are 1st in net rating. They're the best net rating in the league. So I say all that to say maybe the Hawks game was a bit of a red herring. Maybe things weren't as bad as we made it out to be. But listen, at 20-10, 5th and 6th overall in the league, 3rd in the East, they're absolutely contenders.
All right, absolutely have them contenders. And I think it goes to show, Shawn, the Hawks game, that loss, as I said, had some Knicks fans feeling some kind of way. But teams can bounce back. It's a long season. You got to be patient. They've started to play well. Now, speaking of playing well, Macau Bridges recently had what many are calling his best Knicks moment during the Christmas game against the Spurs. How do you see his role evolving with this Knicks squad, and what does this mean with what we've seen from him for his future contributions?
Listen, I had a lot of mean things to say about Macau Bridges after that Hawks game. You can ask Jeff Johnson. I was there at the game with him. You got Cedric Shawn from KCDA. I was at the game with him, and I was very annoyed. I think we were all annoyed because we saw the Hawks game as an opportunity to end some narratives, and now those narratives are going to continue. But so is life. Macau Bridges became a Knick on Christmas Day. Similar to, they say a Yankee fan, you earned your pinstripes. He became a Knick that day. And I would also say go back to the Hawks game. But I think another thing that annoyed many people about the Hawks game is that they were able to hide Trae Young on Macau Bridges. And shout out to XJ from Knicks Film School, who pointed out after the Christmas Day game that, he basically tweeted like, "Oh, you telling me you couldn't run anything for Macau Bridges? Hiding Trae on Macau Bridges should be a crime in like 42 states." In terms of his future contributions, I think the key will be we all remember the non-Brunson minutes being a disaster last year offensively. It will be so hard for them to generate offense. This year, it's been night and day. Last year, they were with their on-offs. Brunson on the court, their offensive rate is 122.8. Off the court, it was 109.2, which would have been 29th in the league last year. This season, again, 122.8 on with Brunson on the court, their offensive rating, 118.1 when he's off the court, which would be the 5th best offense in the league. And yes, some of that is going to be Karl-Anthony Towns, but a lot of that is that you can run things from Macau Bridges. You can get a little bit of Brooklyn Macau when Brunson's on the floor, and clearly we saw how that looked down the stretch on Christmas Day, because Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns sat for basically the rest of the game, and Brunson, the Knicks made that run while Brunson was on the bench.
Yeah, they did, and it was very impressive how they did that, and it shows you the value that Macau Bridges can bring to this team. And also part of what they brought him for is that, okay, if you need to run some plays for him, can he carry a little bit of the scoring load? And that should have Knicks fans feeling pretty optimistic. Now, we just talked about that. You mentioned that with Brunson and Towns being on the bench at the end of that Spurs game, and lately we've seen them not always at their best in recent games. So how important has the play of guys like Precious Achiuwa, Josh Hart, and Miles McBride been to keep the Knicks afloat during the stretch where their top two guns haven't always been at their best?
Listen, I've said it for years. I've said it since the day he got on this team. Championship teams have guys like Josh Hart in their roster. They may not be the best scorers or the best rebounds or the best passes, but they do a little bit of everything. They're jack of all trades. He's having his best shooting season, best field goal percentage of his career this year, and I don't think that's by accident. By the players that are around him. Deuce McBride, hey, listen, we all remember Deuce McBride was a guy that will go to Westchester, drop 40, and then come here and then not be able to get off the bench. And so his defense, his three-point shoot is taking a massive lead, because I remember he was shooting in the 20s his first few years in the league. Now he's a legitimate three-point shooter. Precious provides that toughness, that rebounding that we kind of missed in the earlier in the season. And good Lord, if you get hit a corner three from here and there, that will be absolutely amazing. So listen, we need those guys. We need. Listen, you can't win a championship with just 5 guys. You need 8 to 9, and we have a solid 8. And hopefully, when Landry Shamet comes back, that makes it 9.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Knicks' depth can improve. That's going to be one of the big questions as they move forward in the season. Last thing for being here, Shawn. Knicks face Orlando. 3rd time this season they're matching up against the Magic. They have a chance to go 3-0 against them. What are the keys in this game to them securing a win and continuing their win streak and pushing it to 6?
Don't be unserious. That's the key. We've seen a couple of times it takes the Knicks a quarter to get into games. We've seen them sometimes, I don't want to say not taking an opponent lightly. I think about the Dallas game where they were missing Luka. They were missing someone else whose name I can't remember. And the Mavericks came out and smoked them out of the gate. So, and listen, I said this during the NBA Cup game where we beat them in to get to the quarterfinals. If you don't take this Magic team seriously, if you say like, oh, there's no Powell, there's no Franz, there's no Mo Wagner, like they will handle you. They just beat the Heat and the Celtics back-to-back games this week. So if the Knicks come out with the right effort and intensity at MSG South, aka MSG Disney, the Knicks can win this game. Just don't take this team lightly, because they want to drag you into the gutter and have a street fight. So come out with the right effort, come out with the right intensity, and the Knicks should be able to get a W. All
right, we'll see if the Knicks can get a W down in MSG Disney. I like that you called it there. MSG South usually reserve that for when they play the Heat. MSG Disney, I like that one. We'll see if they can get a victory down there against the Magic on Friday night. That is Shawn Hardie. Check him out on Knicks Film School. Does a great job contributing there. He is one of the few Ravens fans that I actually like. Shawn, appreciate you, man. Well, oh, of course. Now you got the Knicks Film School gear on, which we love. We love the Knicks Film School gear, but he had to have a Ravens T-shirt underneath to try to antagonize me. But again, he's one of the Ravens fans that I actually like. Shawn, appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon.
Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy your holidays and have a happy New Year.
Yes, same to you. Happy New Year to you, brother. Thank you.